Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So I've been doing these videos. Not all my videos. I've been doing this particular segment, Doctor Who Media Sphere. I've been doing it for like a year, maybe two, and I've never really had a good way of explaining what it is until now, right? Until now, when I had a flash of inspiration. I do like a good flash. I don't know about you. I had a flash of inspiration, right, when I was doing this. What are these videos? Like, what is this strand? And it's essentially this. It's any article I can't really characterize and fit into anything else that's about Doctor Who, and I find weird and interesting, right? So that's basically what it is. And there's just an eclectic mass. Now, used to be when I started this stuff, it was the height of the Jodie Whittaker years, right? Or the ebbing of the Jodie Whittaker years, and that was fueled by a lot of outrage, like, oh my God, they're doing that, they're doing what, they're doing, for me, I don't know, the outrage that came with that time, I think was much more with the earlier part of it. It's basically when the normie world called up and went, oh my God, that's garbage. I can't stand this. When the normie world caught up and saw quite how much it was failing, they then they got on the bandwagon just as they improved. It still wasn't good, but just as they improved. Honestly, just the same way Chibnall brought in people who were good at costuming. I mean, I liked a lot of the stuff they did. Why couldn't he have brought in a bloody writer? Why couldn't he have just been like, I gave you the outline of everything, and have somebody who can write be able to hammer it out into a narrative? I mean, a lot of the ideas there weren't bad. Honestly, I think the idea of the Timeless Children, if it wasn't done so awfully, right, with so little care and so little thought, it might have been able to work. I think any idea could work, really. But honestly, I think it's partly arrogance, partly denial of reality. Like, I guess if you are a writer, right, and you're at the top of your game and you just got this job at Doctor Who, you don't want to admit, even to you, especially to yourself, I was going to say even to yourself, especially to yourself, you don't have what it takes, right? You do not want to admit that, which is, personal vanity, really, was one of the reasons why I think the Jodie Whittaker era completely failed. Man, I feel bad. I mean, honestly, it's like, because if it could have worked, right now I'm thinking about it, I think it could have worked if you cast it better. I think Jodie Whittaker was just not the right person for the job, right? I think she was totally not the right person for the job. I think if you cast it better, it would have worked. And if you wrote it better, right? Basically, if you took the basic ideas and put them together, that's fine. But but my point is this: I was going down this rabbit hole. There was so much outrage. I was like, the Chinese children, how they make this continuity problem, that continuity. Why is she doing this? And why does it make no sense? But it's in the rearview mirror now, is the point. Thank God. It really genuinely is in the rearview mirror, and I don't know what this new era of Doctor Who is going to be like. I'm, as you know, if you're not new to my now, I'm optimistic, right? I am very, very optimistic. I understand there are a lot of channels out there that are, I haven't heard Nerd Relic talk about it for a while. Honestly, I like Nerd Relic's solo shows the best. I caught one yesterday, and I was so excited. Like, bit of Nerd Relic on his own. So I haven't been able to catch him talking about it. I just know, people have told me he's very negative, and I got a lot of respect for Gary's opinion. This channel exists because of Gary, right? I will say because of Gary and because of Noel from the TARDIS Zone, right? Gary was my first. If you're not a subscriber of Nerd Relic, you should really go check it out. But Gary was like the my first entry into this alternative media. When Jodie Whittaker started, and it was unwatchable. Like, it was completely freaking unwatchable. And if you mentioned it, you were called a racist. And it was like the weirdest time, right? And we all remember it. It was the weirdest time. It was a very polarized time. It was a lot of screaming with the Trump years and with Brexit. Everybody was like, ah! Right? So that's how I found Nerd Relic. And his ongoing message is, we need more voices, right? We need more alternative voices, and I agree with him completely, which is why I started my channel. And then, I like Noel of the TARDIS Zone. It was very nice. He had me on. It basically taught me how to do this, right? So I will say this channel exists because of those two ones. But yeah, it upsets me that Nerd Relic is really down, and I understand why he is, because You know, I think it's coming at it with an American sensibility. Oh, by the way, he might be right. He might be right and I'm wrong. Okay, there is that. But I think if you're coming at it with an American sensibility, where things are slightly more black and white, yeah, you're going to say, well, more of the same, obviously. I don't think so. I do not think so. I just don't think Russell Lee Davies can write non-characters, like two-dimensional characters like Chris General did, which is the hallmark of what we call woke. You know, I love it that they say, well, what does woke mean? There's no definition for it. If you like it, it's probably woke. Anybody who's saying that's probably woke. But in terms of entertainment, it's the platforming of ideology on an existent, successful property with a fan base. Normally, several ideologies. Stuff we all agree with. Women are people too. Black people are people too, and things. Yeah, maybe more controversial. Men have men have babies. That sort of thing. And if you question one, you deny them all, right? You deny them all. So that's basically how it was. But that's what works. I just don't think he's going to do that, right? I think there's going to be lots of ideas that I don't agree with, like not lots of ideas. I think the what's the word? Not the permissibility. That's the wrong word. I think the increased trend of younger people being transgender is going to be reflected in the show. We know that with Yasmin Finney, but I think it's going to be like one of these young people who decided they're transgender, which exists. That's a reflection of the world. As long as it reflects the world that is trying to entertain, I think it's okay, right? I genuinely think it's okay. And I understand Russell wants the world to be a certain way, right? We have very different worldviews. I'm a Bible thumper. He's the opposite of that, right? But I think, bottom line, we both kind of like and appreciate truth. I think we both think truth is quite important. And I think that's why his work is very good, because it's very, very authentic. It's very honest. Like, the characters are very, very real. That's why I think it's going to work, right? But I understand people are down on it, right? I'm up for it. Anyway, so there's no outrage anymore. Blimey, that was a long introduction. The outrage really isn't there. And I think that's fueling some of these, especially the first one. Fine, before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are fantastic. Thank you very much. You know, I can talk. Okay, I can. I look at the clock. I'm over nearly 8 minutes into this video, and I'm like, man, I felt like I just said hello. I got more rabbit than Sainsbury's, mate, which is a bit of a bummer because rabbit isn't kosher. Never had rabbit. Many things I never did before I became religious. My thing I regret most is I never went to a strip club, and I'm like, I guess I can't do that now. I think I'll be kind of grossed out now. But I never did that, so I feel that's an experience stolen from me. But don't worry. I had plenty of bacon and prawns and shrimp. All that stuff's awesome. Anyway, look at me. I'm digressing again. Let's talk about Doctor Who. Like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack. It's in the email newsletter. No, it is my email newsletter in the video notes. I get that wrong literally every time. It's in the video notes. It's my email newsletter where you can find my cyber filth. Because every day I put a bunch of extras in. When I can remember, I'm actually putting out more content right now, so I'm not focusing as much on that. But there's a lot of creativity going on right now. New stuff I'm starting. So hopefully we're going to get more stuff on the Substack. It's free. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. All these things are fantastic. And Twitter will be much better if Elon Musk opened Twitter blue in Israel. I would just love to have a little check mark. It's worth the $8 a month to see the crazes on the interwebs going, he's got a check mark. It's so worth it. It's so 100% worth it. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I think we covered everything, right? Okay, again, please do comment, by the way, and subscribe. Let's have a look at this first article, which is truly pathetic, right? Truly. So, as I was saying, there's no outrage anymore, and places like Bleeding Cool really don't like that so much. I mean, there's a little bit of outrage, but there's not like... they really don't like there's no outrage, because when they got people like us go, what? No! The Serious doctors aren't fucking canon. When they get us to do that, they feel very good about themselves. You know why they feel very good about themselves? They get a rise, right? They feel like they got something going on in life, right? They can prod something and have something come back to them, you know? They can. Now, most way normal people do this is go out and have a life and, you know, live a life, get a job, have have relationships and you know, go outside, touch grass, right? They don't do that. They don't do that, and they are just like these nasty little angry children who are the results of the shittiest parenting in the entire universe. Who their parents in turn also had the shittiest parenting. You know, like it just went on and on and on. So they you know, they have no good characteristics. They bully. They love to bully because that's the only way they can feel any validity, right? And hearing you scream in rage validates them all the time. So now they don't have that so much, and Doctor Who does look like it's going to be pretty popular and pretty good. They're just flailing, right? They're just flailing, and I can't think of anything more flailing than this sad, pathetic article. You know, people at Bleeding Cool have a particular worldview that Trump was pure evil, Exit was pure evil, anybody who voted for Trump or Brexit are pure evil. They voted for Trump and Brexit because they hate black people, they hate gay people, right? That's what they all believe, right? They believe it, so they believe that the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who was going to be a huge success and stunning and brave and break the glass ceiling, icky thump. They believed all that with all their little heart and all their little might, and everything they believed is being proved wrong right now. I mean, like, the thing I found interesting in 2022, 2023 is for people to understand if something's good or bad, right or wrong, they need to be told it's good or bad, right or wrong. So we have all this, like, bad, wrong stuff going on in the great, no, I'm talking about, not, you know, in science fiction as well, but in the greater world, right? You know, many bad political things going on in the world, and because we don't have you know, their news services or social media telling me it's good or bad, telling me it's bad, they don't react, right? They don't react that it's bad. You know, so you know, people are like, yeah, but people I think understand that the entire worldview of people from Bleeding Cool is being repudiated every second of every day. Every time Joe Biden shows himself to be a huge stinking hypocrite, they're being repudiated every second, every day. Every time that the Britain gets worse and worse and worse, they like to scream, "It's the Tories! It's the Tories!" The reason the Tories are so firmly in place is because of people like Bleeding Cool, who loved the anti-Semite Jeremy Corbyn, who would have bankrupted everybody. But right now, I'm like, yeah, let Keir Starmer be Prime Minister. He can't be any worse than anybody else. Oh God, I hope they don't use that in some horrible retrospective of when Keir Starmer becomes Prime Minister and ends up like, I don't know, destroying half of England. But they're starting me going, oh, he can't be any worse. Cut to devastation, right? I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, so they can't, because they really can't point to anything in the world that validates them, right? It's all about their validation. It's all about their desperate validation, their desperate hunt for validation, because their mummy isn't here anymore to tell them they're the best bit ever. Here, have a participation trophy, right? They don't have that anymore, right? Now, they just got to make up arguments or things they can slam down. So, Bleeding Cool has done Doctor Who, how anti-woke fan, because you can't be a fan if you're anti-woke. I don't know what woke means anyway. Would argue the show is a communist plot. Nobody would argue that, you dumb, ignorant cunt. Oh my God. And I think dumb, ignorant cunt is actually the technical term for for this article, the writer of this article, dumb, ignorant cunt. Yeah, I mean, firstly, nobody thinks, oh, it's communism. We think socialism. We think it's Chinese-style socialism. And we think it's got nothing to do with left or right fucking politics, right? It's got everything to do with a political elite class that wants to turn us all into fucking slaves, which they are in the middle of doing, right? That's essentially what I think is going on. And the reason and the way they're able to destabilize society, destabilize us, to disempower us, is take away everything that gives us power. Family, right? Family, having a strong family unit, having relationships, having a normal sex life. all that stuff has been under massive assault for the last 5 years, right? More, right? Have you seen, like, it's interesting. Somebody said, and I wish I could remember who, right? It was a really clever comment. All this, like, weird sexual stuff that's aimed at younger children on Disney, that's not grooming the children, that's grooming the parents, right? I saw a video of a woman taking their kid out of a all-age drag show, and somebody asked, do you think this is appropriate? It says, well, they see it on Disney. Same sort of thing they see on Disney. Yes, that's the fucking point! Right, that is exactly the fucking point, yes. So we wouldn't argue it's a communist plot. I think the Soviet communism is so vastly morally superior to the weird, amalgamation of strange, degenerate shit that has come together today. I mean, just so much better, and I don't think it was that good. So, yeah, no one's arguing it's a communist plot, but I see you wanted something that you can knock down, because you got nothing, right? You got absolutely nothing. Doctor Who is a popular show. That's all things to all people. Okay, fine. So we imagine how an anti-woke fan. How can you be a fan of Doctor Who if you're not? It's just about being kind. So come on, 12-year-olds, cut your bollocks off. Come on, saw your tits off. What? You're not kind? What? Wait a minute. That trans person with that trans woman with a dick, wants to date with you. You don't want to suck a female dick. You're not fucking kind. What a piece of shit you are. Yeah, that doesn't sound very kind to me, mate. So yeah. That's what you have. That's what you need to argue is, not this piece of bollocks you got. What I'm going to show is the communist plot. Okay, let's see him desperately scramble for validity. Well, all Doctor Who fans, well, I am. I think you're a disingenuous piece of shit that might like Doctor Who a bit. Right? Every Doctor has fans. It's a show that's always been progressive with good intentions. Yeah, I'll say that. I would agree with that, even with the Jodie Whittaker years, right? I think it had good intentions, right? Misguided though they were, it's always been anti-fascist because it created survived World War II. Also, fascism is a bad thing in general, and I think it would be the antithesis of the thing the Doctor would like, which is strange because people like you, woke pieces of shit, always adopt fascist techniques, right? Always. Very strange, but including, like, weirdly enough, those naughty National Socialists really like the trans world, right? They're really into a bit of tranny stuff, right? Very strange coincidence, I should say. Another coincidence with the National Socialists. Look at that. To answer the question, we decided to have a little fun. Oh, wait, I missed it. It's been accused by right-wingers of having a gay, woke agenda. No. A woke agenda, that we know what it means. Yes. Did it have a gay woke agenda? I don't know. I think it had an traditional value agenda, and bottom line, I have this conversation with my daughter over Sabbath, right? It's if you want what's the function of the Old Testament in my mind, right? What's the function? I think it's something that I think God's real. I think God created the reality, created humanity, and again, this is my own wacky worldview. You don't have to agree with me, right? But I'm trying to get to the point. Why would God do that? Because God is altruistic and God likes to give, right? And what does God want to give? God wants to give you happiness. That's the freaking function of life, according to a Bible Thumper's this Bible Thumper's worldview. That for you to be happy, and the way to be happy is all the boring shit in life. Marriage, fidelity, parenting, honoring one's parents, everything that sucks and is boring, right? That makes you happy in life, believe it or not, right? Incredible that may be, the data is overwhelming, right? It just is. It's not even close about, a personal happiness, right? So, and so, I think someone can be gay. Yes, it's not a problem without assaulting the foundation of what makes a human being function in the world, right? Yes, I think most gay people are able to do that. It's just a little the craze over here. So, I don't even. So, do you understand what woke means now? Because you're using woke, and you say, well, we don't know what it means. It's got no definition. I don't know. Fine. So let's to answer the question. But what if Doctor Who was a communist plot? No one's saying that. Okay, well, we're all used to that now. What? After being proved wrong over and over again? Are you used to being wrong? No, I think you're still railing against it, right? Why did everybody stop watching it? Because it was a lecturing, boring piece of shit. That's why everybody stopped. No, everybody stopped fucking watching it. No, they stopped watching it. No, they stopped watching it more than the rest of the TV, and the reason they stopped watching the rest of fucking TV is because it was equally fucking woke, you bloody morons! Yeah, well, how do you know that? Well, I predicted it, and it happened! Oh. Well, you just got lucky. Is this how we would imagine it's a communist plot? Is this how it's going for you? Is this how you imagine it going down? I'm intrigued. To answer that question, we decided to have a little fun imagining, because we can't argue against them. So we're just going to imagine what they're going to say, and then we're going to say they're so silly. Very good. Imagine what a questionable Doctor Who fan... What? To answer that question, we decided to have a little fun imagining what a questionable, maybe problematic Doctor Who fan might have to say in their conspiracy rant. I've already said it, you dumb cunt, and you haven't answered any point of it. Why do you think drag shows for 5-year-olds is a good idea? Explain that to me. That's the rant you need to get to. Why did Doctor Who fall off a cliff in terms of ratings? Why? Why do you think that was? Because it was so fucking popular. No, it was a woke piece of shit. Did anybody predict it? Yes. Did anybody say it wouldn't happen? You. Did anybody say it would happen? Me. Who was right? Me. Who was wrong? You. Well, you. I got that wrong. Who was wrong? You. See? That's why you wrote this article, idiot. Well, it's just having a little fun, a little what if fun. We think you'll see just how much of what you're about to read rings true in the world in your bizarre, diseased, very prejudiced view. That was new. We all like to hear opinions. Then, why don't you just pick, if they're everywhere? Why don't you just pick one and deconstruct it? No, couldn't do that, could you? We like to hear. That's a new. We like to hear new opinions. Then make fun of them. Me too. We found common ground. Marvelous. But we need to hear this one first. Why? You're making it up. It's not real. We were approached by a long-time fan of Doctor Who. Granted, he's one of those hardcore fans who thinks the old school was better and purer and doesn't like the emotional post-Buffy version that came back in 2005. So I don't think this person is that representative of the fandom that hated the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who. Right, I think most of the fan that hated Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who liked it all up until compiled it, right? If you hated all of it and threw down the mic, that's groovy, baby, okay? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying factually, you got the wrong person you're pulling from. But okay, but you don't give a shit, because you just want to make yourself feel better. Man, BleedingCool's copium. He's not big on romances on Doctor Who. He's not into kissing and stuff. But he approached us with something bigger in mind. Hear me out, he cried, for it was a he. Forget China. I've come to the realization that United Kingdom is the one true communist country in the world. China isn't a true communist country in the world. The closest you'll get to true communism will be the kibbutz movement in Israel, which is now dead, right? It's now dead because the second, third generation looked around and said, we got shit. We got absolutely nothing and we're living in squalor. Can I go and get a job now, please? That's basically how the kibbutz movement went down, right, in Israel. And most people who invested into it, invested their lives into it, kind of regret it in a big way now. Sorry, what? Colour us intrigued. You know, so he's made up a fan. Okay, this is all just to denigrate denigrate a whole group of people. Like, why? 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 It's really gross. Colour us intrigued. You know what? You know how you counter the occasional drunk in a pub who has something to say that so far in orbit you just kind of got to hear it. Well, no, I'm more interested in that. I'm more used to hearing the left-wing fascist who hates Jews in a pub. That's a much more like, yeah, well, bloody Jews, they hated Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah, that's a much more common occurrence now, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Don't want to mention them, do you? Oh, because you're one of them, you piece of shit, aren't you? So I don't know how long I can get going with this article. I'm pushing through. Sorry, what? Carola's intrigued. So again, you have to hear him out. He hasn't. You're making this up. None of this is real. Oh my god. In this case, our fanboy, let's call him Wally B. Canuck Cassie, was sober, a bit foamy at the mouth, and it's okay, really? Dude, you're foaming at the mouth from all that copium you're sniffing, mate. Was sober, a bit foamy in the mouth, and insisted that everybody should hear out what he had to say. Well, unlike you, who's created a website to create a fake argument that you can knock down. God, this is just so pathetic. It's unbelievable. Yeah, he had in his eyes the look of a man who had seen a ghost or a UFO or an alien, and kind of a bystander character on Doctor Who, really, the kind that Rusty Davis likes to write. The truth about England. The definition of communism is all property is owned by the state. He said, no private property, no private ownership. Well, not really. And again, why are we talking about communism and not socialism? Okay, this is... Okay... Kind of like, I think you're trying to shoehorn this into your argument. Did you know literally all the property in the land of the United Kingdom is owned by the Crown? You mean like the royal family? The same. Is that the truth? I don't know. That's the case. I know that's the case in Israel. Like, you don't buy land in Israel. You lease it for like 100 years. Yeah, the same, he said. No, so I don't know if that's true. Nobody leases their property. Only owns their land in the United Kingdom. They lease it to them by the Crown. The deed says they can have over 20, 50 or 100 years, or freehold, which means in perpetuity. But technically the Crown can take back the property at the end of the lease, right? Has the Crown ever seized land in the last 100 years? No, but that's not the point. You see, United Kingdom is communist. Again, this is just a dumb argument made so you can make people like me sound dumb, because you can't make people like me sound dumb using our own words, can you? You get all those inconvenient little questions like if everything, you got everything you wanted in terms of politics in the United States anyway. Everything you wanted. How did it work out for you? Is this what you thought it would be? Why is Biden so much more of a failure? So much of a failure, while Trump was so much of a success. I was going to say more of a failure than Trump, more than a failure than Trump. Trump wasn't a failure, other than not being able to, not understanding that there's democracy is kind of just like a pantomime that we live with. It wasn't actually real, right? As we found out shortly thereafter. So, okay, Doctor Who is state propaganda, pushing communism where... don't you know that all TV shows are approved for production are by default propaganda? No. I mean, they are at the BBC now, so we stopped to think on it. If anything, Doctor Who has been propaganda encouraging tourism to United Kingdom. Well, not the Jodie Whittaker years. They'll like say, don't come near here. This is boring and you don't want to be anywhere near, mate. No. They even the show even has its own top secret government military unit that works with the Doctor. I can't believe I was a fan of UNIT. But But UNIT was designed for little boys to think military is cool. It's the image of the army representing this, blah blah blah. I bought into it. I was one of those little boys. Okay, but you're also a fan of James Bond, who has a government agent, and we don't know if you noticed, but UNIT is kind of dumb. They've always been kind of dumb. That's their one job, to try and shoot the alien menace, but it doesn't work. So the Doctor berates them for being idiots who just shoot everything. Stop ruining my argument! This is all you! You're all the same person! Right? You're... Like this is literal schizophrenia. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre! I just don't know what to do with this. So you're arguing the show is communist propaganda, and we're missing that. If anything, the Doctor is a pacifist hippie. Well, no, more the Doctor's a series of contradictions. He's a pacifist hippie that always works with the military, right? That goes to war. And it's going to be on Disney Plus. That's being spread to every child in the world. Okay, that's true. So you're saying the show encourages kids to be curious, kind, tolerant? No. Disney Plus encourages children to be sexually confused and miserable. That's what Disney Plus encourages. Why? Maybe because it's being made by a company replete with pedophiles, right? Maybe that's why they get on so well with social media, which is being run by... Again, I don't say this. This really does sound like a conspiracy theory rant, but it's not anymore, right? We know the CIA funded and runs social media, Twitter, Facebook, and they're operating. They have people working all the way through, every level of it, right? That's the first thing Elon Musk had to do, was flush out, and he's still doing that. Bloody hell, it's going to take forever, but that's why he was pure intrinsic evil. TikTok, I think, must be run by the Chinese Secret Service, and I would have thought. But the point is this: much like Disney, the CIA is replete with pedophiles, right? Again, is this a conspiracy theory? No. How many times you got to get caught being pedophiles before you go, oh yeah, this organisation is replete with pedophiles? That's not being kind and tolerant, right? Grooming children for sexual activity is not kind and tolerant, right? It's sick and disgusting, and what's going to happen 20 years from now, right? When the bubble will have seriously burst on all these transgendered surgeries and treatments and whatever. Probably what happened to the father of all this disgusting doctrine, all this disgusting gender theory. How this actually got started, I wish I could. I never know what I'm going to rant about at the time, but the person who invented the gender theory, their major experiment was taking two identical twin boys. One of them had received a deformity on their penis, so with surgery they said, well, gender is a social construct. We'll raise this one as a girl and this one as a boy, right? And then they got much weirder. He got the two siblings to have sexual situations into each other, and the one who they altered to be a girl ended up killing themselves, and the other one also died. I don't think from suicide though, right? Or maybe, I really don't know, right? But that's basically what you got to look forward to with this. But it's communist. Where in the show does the Doctor ever demand that all private property be abolished and controlled by the state? He was stumped and then spluttered. Okay. Again, he was stumped because he's not real. I can't think I do. The only way to go first season, there was the episode in the space hospital was like a celebration of the national health. Well, national health was like a good thing to celebrate when it was good. Now it's a piece of shit. I don't think I can do any more. How much longer does this go on for? Oh, we're nearly done. Let's finish the article. Well, the national health is a more socialist thing. Yes! I understand. Socialism always does go hand in hand with anti-Semitism, now, doesn't it? Do you want to talk about that? No, I guess not. No, that'll be you don't want. That might be something you might actually have to butt your head against. It's not communist. It's when the Tory government is trying to destroy it for over 60 years. Yeah, okay. But I thought you said socialism. Okay, whatever. And again, do you really think you're bumbling retards that anybody who has real genuine retardation? I'm not applying this to you. I'm using more in the colloquial term of these people are the worst in the world. Don't go near them. At Labour, do you think they're any more moral? It's so stupid. It's so intently stupid. Like, these people who have a slightly different monetary theory, they're evil. They're evil, right? Oh, but the people who have a slightly different money theory of them, they're all good. Yeah, no, they're all morality is based around that. Absolute nonsense. Wally spluttered and seemed to lose steam. He was, really? So, one second, let's read the end of this. How the weird self-aggrandizement of Bleeding Cool. Wally spluttered. Oh, where are we? The Doctor brought down one Prime Minister and another craven Prime Minister to manufacture the Daleks and got killed by them. That's hardly pro-establishment stance for Doctor Who. Jodie Whittaker was super pro-establishment. You know how she's super pro-establishment? By echoing everything the Twitterati would say on Twitter, right? That Twitter is the establishment, or at least it was, is the establishment, and she echoed every thought that was permissible to say, shall we say. Wally sputtered and seemed to lose steam. He insisted the show was a communist propaganda just because it was made by a country that said that he said was communist. Never mind the show. The Doctor Who is a piece of intellectually owned property by the BBC. What's it supposed to do? We asked. Boycott, sign petition, stop watching the show. God no, he cried. We're supposed to do it without Doctor Who. What are we supposed to do without Doctor Who? He wandered off shaking his head. He was not going to stop watching Doctor Who, and neither are we. What a Wally. Okay, God. Who wrote this? Who wrote this absolute moron? What are it? This absolutely moronic argument. Addy Tantamith, man, how shitty must your life be that you got to make up a person to talk down to make yourself feel better about yourself? How unbelievably shitty must your life be? So let's go to the next article, which is a little bit like, this was a bummer. Ugh. Which is, CBR is also going to be awesome. But at least this one sounds a bit fun. How Futurama quietly fit Doctor Who into its universe and why it's perfect. Okay. Doctor Who cameo in Futurama Season 6 quietly placed the Fourth Doctor into the goofy sci-fi universe, fitting it into the show's fittingly given the show's similarities. So come, let's just get to the idea, please. Both series are fun sci-fi shows, fun sci-fi stories, bound by typical limits of the universe. They're free to invent all sorts of wacky concepts and set up incredible journeys, and the stories follow a similar thematic lines. And that's why the Doctor Who references in Futurama, including casually introducing the Doctor into the show's universe, it's so perfectly, okay? How Doctor Who became Futurama canon. Fine. Season 6, Episode 15, Mobius Dick, followed the Planet Express crew as they entered the Bermuda Tetra or whatever. And the space was considered cursed by dangerous beasts. The crew soon found themselves hunting and being hunted by a well that existed outside the standard flow of space and time. Okay, this sounds like a Doctor Who episode. I can be behind this. Outside space and time. After consuming most of the crew and trapping them within a time looping innards, the well intended to use Captain Fry's future wife Leela as a new host mind. Okay, but Leela's commitment to completing a job allowed her to take the well back to Earth and free the people trapped within. At which point, most of them were killed by the animal. Along with the three people from the world, the fourth incarnation of Doctor, who had been played by Tom Baker, excellent well. The fourth Doctor theoretically continued to exist in some form within the Futurama universe, as it was glimpsed briefly in Season 6, Episode 23, All the President's Heads. Okay, God, fine, this isn't so long. We can go through this. Bit of Sharda action. I love a bit of Sharda action. Why Futurama and the Doctor's sharing canon worked so well. The fourth Doctor appearance in Futurama was fun reveal that actually tracked. Both Futurama and the Doctor have told similar stories. Like, okay, what the hell? Really? Now you're literally just repeating yourself. Have told similar stories like the cosmic recreation of the Titanic disaster in Futurama Season 1, episode whatever, Flight to Remember, and Voyage of Dan Christmas Special. Yes! Okay, I do see they have some, some DNA that matches. I never really thought that before. Man, this is a palate cleanse for that last piece of shit article. If the aforementioned presence of the cosmic space well, the the 10th Doctor and Martha visited the over-industrialized city called New York in Doctor Who's Series 3 episode Gridlock, and the episode parody of a space-based traffic wasn't too dissimilar from the constant ships in the Futurama line. It was actually more based in Mega City 1 Judge Dredd, but okay. The remnants of a Dalek were briefly glimpsed in Futurama seasons. Okay, yeah, it's a look, they're both fun. Is that what you're trying to say? They're both fun? Yes, both Futurama and Doctor Who are fun. Both Futurama and Doctor also touch similar concepts filtered through a purely imaginative and speculative form of sci-fi. Both shows are frequently silly and even childish, even when the stakes get high, embracing a colourful sense of adventure to find a great... Well, we're looking at a great beauty in the universe, but both shows are also surprisingly introspective, dark, dealing with isolation alone. Yeah, they're made by in for clever people. That's true. Well, other than the Jodie Whittaker is obviously. Like Fry, the modern incarnation of the Doctor is someone who is separated from their time and space, making new bonds in a strange new world. Both shows embrace a deep bench of supporting characters, all while finding something inspiring, something petty humans. While finding the sometimes inspiring, sometimes petty humanity within them all. Fair, okay. The extreme limits the characters are able to reach within both shows fits into a general tone of each other, as do the. Yeah, it's fair. Okay. I would say, yes, I am happy with the idea of there being Futurama and Doctor Who existing in the same universe, right? That actually kind of works for me. I don't know why. It works for me a lot better than at first. I thought, man, what a loser. I mean, like, what a complete and total loser that Bleeding Cool article wrote was. Like, what a total and utter douchebag that, like, desperately needed to tell something they're wrong. I guess because they see they were wrong about everything. That's really what's going on. They were wrong about everything. They know they're wrong about everything. The world they believed in is crumbling around their ears. Sadly, we live in the same world as well. So, you know, that's just what we got to deal with in 2023. Fortunately, there might be some good telly in 2023. You know, I saw the first episode of Last of Us last night. Actually, I think the video game was a bit better, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't that terrible. I think Star Trek Picard Season 3 looks like might actually be good, right? If you just forget Season 1 and 2 existed. And of course, I am very stoked for the new Doctor Who. I know, as I said, open up, a lot of you are not. I am, baby, I am. If any of you want to come on my channel and like really have a conversation about it, I am more than welcome to. You are more than welcome to come on my channel. I would love to have a conversation about that. But really, I do think it's all going to work out all right. Yes, you know, chill out, baby. It's all going to be cool, baby. It's all going to be cool. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. Yeah!